Come on, Brian. Are we ready, baby? Let's call the meeting to the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning to everyone.
Yes, it is.
We have an agenda before us as amended. Are there additions, corrections to that?
I'll make a motion to approve our agenda this morning.
Second. Motion and second to approve agenda. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Agenda is approved. Okay, we have minutes from 7:20. Any additions or corrections to the minutes?
I move to approve. I'll second.
Those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Anybody from the public has something to on the agenda? All right. Dean, I think we're ready. There's your fair report.
I know. You just laugh. You go, Peggy. How's your pork burger?
It was great.
You tell you why?
No, I didn't.
Actually, went and ate it up at my mom's. I was going up there to check on her, so.
A little cool out there?
Yeah, it was a lot cooler. It was a lot. Okay, this is the, fourth quarter budget, how we ended up. Fourth quarter, we ended up with, expenditures of $19,594. Our budget was, $20,832. For the year, we ended up in the black, $56,000, left. We had amended our budget in 4 months ago, Peggy? We amended the budget, increased the budget, 4 months ago, so after we did that, we ended up with about $5,600 to the black. Rental assistance, what triggered me to ask for that, increase in the budget was the rental assistant, was continuing to go up. Our quarterly budget, was $5,500, and we still spent, $6,400, in the fourth quarter. Food vouchers have gone up from, $750 to, over $1,000 in that fourth quarter. The first half of, the last year, the electric power in Mid-America was really accelerating upwards. So we changed the budget there, to $2,250, on a quarterly basis, but for some reason in the last 4 or 5 months, Mid-America has gone down drastically. We only spent $628 or so. I think a lot of that has to do with, a lot of the elderly were using the
Space heaters.
Well, that might be too, but they were also, getting, aid back, through, what organization that is, but where they get a lump sum of money to help pay for their heating expenses. So...
That's not how homeward housing or anything like that, is it? Must be something else.
Yeah, it's
lump sum, right?
Yeah, it's a lump sum.
There was, also, I know there was some, a program out there through the federal government where they got a rent rebate type thing, like, even if the rent is subsidized through, like, Veterans Affairs or something, but their portion that they paid, they could fill out some form and get that money back.
For a month or something, or?
Oh, I think it was up to almost $1,000.
No, what was that through?
It was through, Udmo, Mary Ortman was telling me about it. I'm trying to think of what it was, I can't, right off the top of my head, remember the name of the program, but it was a federal program, and,
Yeah.
it was, I mean, it helped people who had subsidized rent on the portion that they paid personally.
I'll look into
But
that.
you had to be over a certain age, and it had all these requirements you had to fall into.
Right, and income, of course, so.
Yeah, but I think that program was over July 1st.
Okay.
Are these food and rent vouchers the same people, or we got more people on board now meeting?
There's at least 2 additional. Now, one died this weekend, so, that one, she was new, so, there's been a couple new ones on there, yeah. Claims pending, at the VA right now that I have, I've got 34, pending claims right now, waiting on, some type of, action on. Healthcare, to get into the healthcare system, there's 5 claims. Pensions, I've got 4. Seeking compensation of some kind for service-related injuries, 20. One for VA loan, and one for education. The education one is kind of the exciting one, because in the year and a half I've been down there, I've only had two veterans come in asking for help with education, so that one's kind of a good one.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
To get something.
Honor Flight fundraisers, of course, we had the one at Hy-Vee, Friday. There was another one on Saturday with the VFW Fund Run. I'm not sure how successful they were, but I know the one I worked at Friday, it seemed to be, very, very successful that I could see. I mean, I don't know how much money we raised out of that, but it was coming in pretty consistently. We have another fundraiser in August 7th at Fairway. And of course, the honor flight itself is September 19th, and that one's full, and then there's one in May, and there's at least 30 already, filled up for that one.
September, you said?
Yeah, September 19th. And the other thing I want to just give you guys is, we get $10,000, you guys can keep these, do what you want with them, $10,000 grant every year, which we just received last week. I fill out some paperwork for that, basically justification on why we need it. That $10,000, we add that to our budget, but the state of Iowa wants us to take that $10,000 and use it for, basically for Veterans Affairs Office. And that's kind of how that's, so I have to go through every year and show where I've
Spent the $10,000.
spent the $10,000 within the office. And that $10,000, you know, for this county, we're over less than 30,000, so they're saying that we need somebody in the office for 20 hours, and that's what we do. And anything over 20 hours, should come out of that $10,000 that we get. The only change they've made for the upcoming fiscal year is the office rent. That's always come out of the $10,000, and now they're specifying that that comes out of the county. So that's the only change coming up with that $10,000. What they show is authorization to use that $10,000, anything from, computers, postage, office supplies, education, of course. Those are examples of how they want that $10,000 to be allocated to. And things that they don't want it allocated to is direct services to veterans for rent, utilities, food, etc., grave markers, care of graves, those types of things.
Make it pretty clear, don't they?
Yeah. So I keep track of what we do. For example, the outreach on Friday, that 3 hours I was down there theoretically should go to where that $10,000.
Well, I'm thankful they're still funding us at $10,000. I know our budget, it's way bigger than that, but it does help.
Yeah.
I mean, it kinda helped get us somebody in place with an office, and I think since you've been in an office, I think you've reached out. I think the office, the two of you, your predecessor, and you have both done a good job of getting, the people are coming in, I mean, the location's good, everybody's coming in.
Yeah, they're coming in.
So that's all working out.
I have lately, and one thing I'm trying to push them is, are you a Legion member or a VFW member? So I've got 2 right now. One's already made out the application. The other one says he's going to, so we'll see.
We're gonna need some shovel guards someday, 'cause you
Yeah.
guys are getting...
Yeah,
I know.
that's for sure.
I know. So that's just something I started pushing on myself, just to ask that question, so. The budget for the upcoming year, I dropped down, so I'm going to try a little bit in that budget, which I think is around $74,000. So, which will be close to where we're at this year. But that's all I've got. Anybody have any questions?
You just have a federal report to give them? Usually give them...
Oh, I didn't, no.
I could pass this around.
Perfect.
The copy of
We
it.
can just look at it quick, take it, that's fine.
Because usually yours have the names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they can have the names on?
We give
Oh,
back
at least-
to...
Yeah, usually they look at them and then give it back.
Okay, I've got one here, so I can look that one.
Getting comfortable with the new job?
Yeah, pretty much so, yeah.
There you go, Rick.
There's always a new twist every day, somebody else comes
Yeah,
down.
there's always a new question, isn't
Yeah,
there?
there is.
Oh, no, you know what, I recognize it from,
Yeah.
that will change much.
You done with that?
Yeah.
That's that one on board.
Yeah, Mark can look at one of those. You wanna give that to him?
Yeah, sure.
Then he can...
I've kinda been asking, or inquiring on the, home base Iowa, and, there really hasn't been any activity in Humboldt yet.
We got some nice cities out there, if they come through with it.
Yeah,
I see the signs are up.
yeah, signs are up.
But even more for those coming from out of the county, even within the county, so it's not a recruiting.
Right. Well, we're probably limited too, obviously Humboldt County, compared to some of these other counties.
Having read those things, I accept the motion to approve the quarterly report from the Veterans Affairs.
So moved.
Motion by Gary,
I'll second too.
second by Rick.
No, that's hers, Peggy's.
Those in favor of the quarterly report as presented, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, I think we're ready for you, county engineer.
You'll have it here, so...
By the way, Paul, I asked about a question
me? Oh, okay, very good.
And you can maybe reverse
Not
that.
to worry about it.
Yeah, well, I think we can figure it out.
What I heard and what I read, I wanted to make sure what I heard was correct. Good morning. This morning, we only have one order of business, and that would be to approve contract and bonds with Progressive Structures LLC for box culvert replacement project number LC 192-380 on C-46 west of Highway 169. I have this on the agenda, but I would recommend approval based on pending receipt of the correct balance on the bond. As we reviewed the bonds Friday, they're $1,200 short on the total. Their bond was $81,385 versus $82,585. There's a typo bust or whatever. They started the process to get the right bond. It's $1,200 short. Otherwise, I'd recommend approval pending receipt of the correct bond. And I'll get, when we get it, then I would notify Carl, and Carl would come out and sign all documents. So we would not execute a thing or return anything until we got the right bond back. And noting the Harlan's not on here anymore, and we do know which version of Peterson it is. I look it up in the phone book when I'm in doubt.
Which version? Okay, that sounds good.
Because these contracts went out the same time as the last ones did. So whatever the last one said, these say the same thing.
Okay.
Need a motion to accept and approve this contract pending correction of the bond amount.
I'll make the motion to the contract, with Progressive Structures LLC for $82,585.
With the clause that...
With the clause on the bond, it comes in correct.
Okay, you're a second.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second to approve the bonds and the contract as presented, Progressive Structures. Other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. What else you got for us, Paul?
The other thing I heard is, safety meeting is the 5th, Wednesday the 5th, not the 4th.
That's okay.
I sent you an email, and I just forwarded what we got from Pat.
I told Sue we'd get it straight with him on Monday.
And then if somebody can, they can, otherwise
So
we'll handle it.
that would be a Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday.
Yeah, I'll be around.
Yeah,
Wednesday the 5th, August.
we already have it. We have it.
They're having a safety meeting out to the shed.
So
Otherwise...
you'll have the charcoal lighter fluid and the grills and everything, okay, we'll just be
Well,
around
yeah, I got one more draw.
We'll start it, and you guys can show up.
That'll work perfect.
Beyond that, we only have a mile or so left of rock that we wanted to do from this spring yet, which we still can't do, because the road is, soft and poor.
Really?
It would be, Penn Avenue South. It would be one that will be rocked and paid for by E.C. Soares.
Up by Littlemore or somewhere?
No, south of the drag strip, just...
Oh, Penn
south,
Avenue.
South
Oh,
instead
sure.
of north on drag strip. That mile
Oh.
has been beat since January, and it still is. And it's
Stuff up and down.
so soft,
It may take a couple of years for them to get back in shape.
yeah, most of them, we worked on one on Q Avenue up on the other end from 100 and 120th. Tom pulled in the shoulders and all, bladed it up. It looked like a Class D for dirt road. Rained on it a couple times, we rolled it. Rained on it again, we rocked it. And it seems to be fairly firm now. But there's still a lot of vehicles out there running up and down, and they have to have a chance to heal, and they don't. We have soft spots. I think we're doing edge rutting right now. We're gonna look at some core outs. We have some map locations where we have annual frost boil. We did a few of them a few years ago. Didn't do any last year. We're gonna try to do a few of them this year. Core out the middle, put ballast in, try to create a drain.
I noticed that my mother's road is still mushy. It just amazes me. It's never had a problem there ever.
Those we probably won't address.
No, they're small.
The ones where we have problems that show up yearly, those are the ones that we want to hit
That's
first.
where my east road is, that dredge ditch. There's two spots in there, of course, that was a no snow removal last year. But there's two spots there that have never been there.
I don't know, it's a weird year.
Well, if we hit them wrong this spring when they were thawing out, if we hit them wrong, they're done. I mean,
Well, once you get a hole, it's probably hard to fix
Just
it.
a question for thought, do you think there's any chance that, like, when we have a no snow removal, and that snow sets there and it never gets off, and it just makes it worse in the spring to address?
no, what we had is a wet fall.
Okay.
We had high water table, and we had early fall. Remember, we had 0 degrees in November last year.
Right.
And, we brought, high water table in and deep frost penetration early, and that's a recipe for a poorly graded road too. That road apparently isn't too high above the field.
Well, I think a little bit of the problem is the ditch is right there on that side, and it's hard to get a crown roll off on that side. It doesn't drain off that side very good, because that dang dredge ditch right there, you can't even cut it.
Usually, these kind of issues are from underneath, not from above.
All right.
But what compounds the issue is when we have the frozen layer underneath, and we get rain or meltdown in the spring on top, flat road, or pocketed, or a hole, then it goes down, hits the frost layer below, it stays there. Turns to, soup is a good term, a thick soup.
Soup is better than soup.
Pancake batter is soup. If we dig some of them out now, they'll have the consistency and look like a thick pancake batter. Yet, August.
Crazy.
That's it. No other good news.
You give that to Ben, please.
Okay?
Okay, let's go ahead and...
You got a busy day today, Paul?
No. I mean, nothing's on the schedule. Call, and I will call you when we get signatures.
Okay.
Let's move down to quarterly report of the sheriff. Set the place on file the sheriff's quarterly report, and in June 30th, I believe we have it in the packet. $2,901.18.
I'll make a motion, place on file the sheriff's quarterly report for quarter ended June 30th, 15.
I'll second the report.
We have a motion and a second to approve the sheriff's quarterly report ending June 30th, 2015. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. We also have the sheriff's annual report ending June 30th.
Move to approve
Moved by Moore.
$41,001.31.
We have a second.
I'll second.
Second by Rick. Those in favor of approving the sheriff's annual report, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Let's do claims. You had a chance to review the little green book?
Yeah, I took a look at the claims, and they're quite high, but we got a lot of insurance premiums. We have a first payment to Woodruff of 70-some thousand. We have claims of $524,977.63. I move we approve.
Tell about drainage. Anything on
Oh, and drainage is, $59,999.19.
We have a second.
Second.
We have a lot of money this month.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that come through, a couple of cars. I was talking with one of the deputies, he says, I gotta leave my car run pretty much all day, 'cause sometimes it won't start. He shuts it off. So it's time, he says he's glad he's getting a new one.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the claims as stated. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Claims are approved. All right. We
Too much
got
fair,
a
Ken?
very long weekend.
Too much fair, huh?
He said he goes to work and he hates to shut it off, 'cause he says sometimes it doesn't want to start.
Especially when it's hot, you don't want it to not restart.
Yeah, I get a call and he can't start the car.
All right.
We have a motion to go in drainage.
So moved.
Second by Rick, or motion by Jerry, second by Mort to go into drainage. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. We are in drainage.
I think the car was 4 years old or something, they got 200,000 miles on it.
How many?
Wow, 200,000.
Hot weather, some
One of the ones that
That's
they replaced.
one of them that we replaced.
Yeah, one of those that we're replacing.
Okay.
400,000 miles. Years ago, a car wouldn't go 100,000.
I know. Now they,
You used to overhaul them, what, 60,000?
You had trouble getting them started in the winter. Now they're starting.
it was interesting, I had to jump start my brother-in-law's car, he had a '69 Chevelle, I opened the hood, my goodness, it's just the motor.
Yeah.
Motor and a battery, that's all that's in there.
And fresh air.
Two wires. You can actually see the ground all the way around the
I was
motor.
gonna say, you can see the ground, can't you?
Yeah.
You don't do that on these new ones.
It was incredible how empty that cavity was.
Morning, Rick.
Morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Rick.
Hi, Tracy.
Morning.
We're right on schedule.
All right, we'll keep that record going.
We're ready for DD 6, lateral A. What do you got for us?
Okay. I think the appraisal report is first. And I probably have mentioned this to you fairly recently, we're looking at the appraisal report slightly different in that we're doing the permanent easement just like we had been, but the temporary easement, we're approaching slightly different. You'll see that we have, if you get back to the meat of it, we've allowed $2,000 an acre for the permanent right-of-way and $400 an acre for the temporary right-of-way. For the temporary right-of-way, what I've talked over with the appraisers was how to handle the effect of the project on future crops. And what we looked at was 30% loss the first year, 15% loss the second year, 5% loss the third year. So that's total of 50% loss. At 200 bushels an acre, at $4 a bushel, that's $400 an acre. So it's something we can defend. Now, it will be up to the landowners to turn in actual crop loss, and we can verify those. Because we don't know what it's gonna be. Sometimes we get a crop in, sometimes we go wider, sometimes we go narrower. We've tried to approximate that in the past, and it's worked, but there's always been questions. So, this would take care of...
And in the past, we used what number?
8 to 900 an acre.
Mm-hmm.
And there'll be some actual crop loss on top of this filed.
So you'd have to file that every year for 3 years, is that what?
No, the one that the people would file would be for the actual crop...
Outside the right-of-way?
Actual crop taken out is what they'd file for.
On those
One
acres?
time, on the acres affected by the project.
The width of the project?
Yes, yes.
Whatever it is.
The actual loss.
Okay.
This is paying for the loss...
Damage to the ground.
Right.
Oh, this...
Yeah,
Okay,
good, well put.
Yeah.
Damage to
It
the...
takes time for it to recover.
This
Yes.
isn't actually crop loss, this is
Right.
actually...
This is damage to the ground. That, Rick said it, that's a very good description. How is it gonna be affected?
Because it does affect it for a few years.
Yes, yes.
Get some clay on top, and it takes a while to get it mixed in.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Settle.
Damage to the land, basically, is a perfect description. So,
That looks acceptable to me.
and the commissioners, the appraisers felt that, and, you know, they both have farmed
On the
for...
crop loss, you'd have to do what? You'd do that differently then? You
Well,
got-
we'll act on each one that's submitted at the
So if
acceptance hearing.
you know the area and you didn't have a crop that year, you just turn that, what do you turn in? I'm not...
If you didn't, yeah, zero production, yes.
So we'll have to do that separately from this?
Yes,
Okay.
that'll be part of the completion hearing typically,
Completion part.
yes.
Okay, very good.
Yep,
That makes sense.
yeah, it just, it worked the other way, it just, I'm more comfortable with this.
Because I've never seen this
Yeah,
before. But
yeah.
I haven't been doing this very long, but
Yeah,
I like this system here.
I think we'll feel it's gonna be the right thing to do, so, yeah, and I'll need to remember that comment, damage to the land, that's kind of,
Yeah, rather than crop, you really can't
Right.
use crop, it's more...
exactly,
Yeah, issues on the
exactly,
land.
yes, so,
Then this goes to the landowners, so you know that they're, you know, it's their if there's any dispute with the tenant, they have to work that out.
Yes, yes, and then the crop loss should go directly to the tenant, and that they...
And that usually
file
covers
it.
pretty well there, so, I mean, it helps cover some of this second and third year loss.
Yes, yes, yep.
All right.
So, and Trish and I looked at dates, this is kinda scary, but, looking out 40 days and then leaving a slight amount of extra time, September.
Yeah, no kidding.
We're into September. And you were looking at the 14th, did you say, Trish?
September 14th?
So we need to set a hearing time and date for...
Let's go 9 o'clock, to give you a little time.
Sometimes it's late down the fair, how about that?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, we need a motion to, accept the appraisal report and set the hearing for September 14th at 9 o'clock.
So moved.
Motion by Jerry,
I will second the
motion
motion.
by Rick. Those in favor of the motion as stated, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Now we need to have the commissioners report.
Okay, got the report for that. We've added a cost per acre column to this, and they forgot to turn off shutting it off in cents. We've got dollars carried out to 5 decimals there, so, yeah, if they really wanna know, the cost per acre is $256.97.829.
Yeah, they got it all the way out.
Got it all the way out. The change that's occurred with this, Bob Lynch and Dick Nave, very experienced in farming and drainage, they asked that we increase the points per acre on the clarion soils. And the reasoning behind that is that it doesn't matter what type of soil it is anymore. If you're a tiling landowner, you tile everything. So, they thought that would tend to draw the assessments a little more equal. I mean, they're still not equal because like Okoboji's high, some of the others are high, and the clarions, we didn't jump them up drastically. But this represents the adjustments as they felt were fair, based on the points per acre. Now, they didn't want to do anything with proximity because 6, lateral A1 has that big loop that goes up north and comes back, and we cut across. That loop doesn't have any of the land from the west draining through it anymore, so they got a big benefit also. Even though it's the old tile, they have very few acres going through it compared to what used to.
Didn't they have a pipe that went through there originally though?
Yes, yes, but it wasn't big enough to carry everything, so the top loop still got used a lot more than it does now. So, this is basically based on the soils, and the soils take into account what's under it. Is there sand under it? What's rating on it for crops? And that's the result that you see here before you. So, a lot of them in the $600 an acre, some over $700. It's a drastic improvement. Yeah, it's not very big, not very big. That's, you put a tile job in a project that isn't a very big area, and, yeah, cost per acre is not cheap, so, I don't think it'd surprise anybody. It's about where we were with the estimate, and it's a matter of setting a hearing for this also. And we'd be glad to answer I'd answer anything I can for you.
Okay, we need a motion to accept the commission report and set the public hearing. What's that?
Same
Yeah,
day,
we
I
need to set the
suppose,
date and
huh?
time.
9:15 or 9:30?
Trying to think through how long the appraisal report might take. I don't think it's gonna take long.
I'd say 9:15, and then if it runs into the next, it'll...
They'll all be here.
Yeah, same people.
9:15 on the 14th?
Yep. I'll make a motion to that effect.
I will second Jerry's motion.
A motion and a second to accept the treasurer's report and set the hearing for 9:15 on September 15th. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried.
Okay.
Looks like we're up to DD 33.
Yep. This is on front and back. I just decided to save the paper on this one. It was, since one page on two sides would take care of it. This 33, branch A, well, you'll see the names on here.
Refresh my memory. This is
Virgil
the one
Williams,
here.
Thompson's, Ron Thompson's.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the one where we had trouble getting them to go back and hook up Virgil's tile, which did get done finally.
Is this where they closed the egg well?
Yes, let's see.
No.
No.
This is another project.
This is a different one. This is where we first came in and did part of branch A, and then Yemlin came in and extended it further. We put it just as far as the petition asked for.
Brian and Virgil came in, wanted to extend
Yes,
it.
wanted to extend it, so we did another contract. Yemlin got that and put that in.
Did they ever get the money for closing that egg well?
Well, now this is...
No, that is...
This is a different one.
Yeah, I know it is.
Yeah.
No, we haven't been approved, I mean, we don't know.
No.
They didn't accept money, they didn't.
I
Well,
don't
we
think
think they will, but we don't have...
they haven't yet, yeah. I talked to Virgil about that a little bit last week, just letting know that it still looked good anyway, so. This is one where, I don't know if you remember, it's so shallow that we couldn't put junction boxes in and have cover over them. So this ended up with 3 large intakes, and I've had people say, let's do that on ours too, because it does take the water so well. And it worked out well. And Holland did come back and fixed, they had some of those structures sucking dirt, they got those taken care of, and Yemlin did get the tile hooked up, so,
Got a question.
yeah.
Is this part of where Doug Marsh had to do a little repair too?
I don't think he did. I think we've finally got the contractors in.
Down here, that's something different.
That's a different one.
Okay.
And I'll give you an update on what I have on that too here. But, yeah, that's a different one. This one, we got the actual contractors come back in and fix anything that was an issue, so. Again, it's a small area, less than 700 acres. The average cost per acre worked out to a little over $323 an acre. Yeah, it takes quite an area, up north. And we did apply a proximity factor to this one. I don't know if you wanna just peek at this. This is the boundary, and the areas I've shaded here, the commissioners wanted to reduce those areas because they're over half a mile away. And some of them have to cross the road to get there, just degree of difficulty.
Okay.
Not a huge area, but, they did want us to put a reduction factor on
Who are
those.
the commissioners on this one, Rick? Just Brent?
Let's see, the Brent and Pat on this one, yep.
Thanks.
So, the reduction was applied to those parcels, and that is reflected, in what you see here.
September 14th, we're gonna do. How much time do you want in between? Should we go 9:45 or 10? 10 maybe? 9:45? Well, we got 9:15
We got
already.
9:15, 9:30.
We
We'll
get,
go 9:45.
yeah, I think a half hour, I think it will be, I just take a short
I
time
think
to
it will.
explain it.
I don't,
Yeah.
it's a smaller project, I mean.
Right.
If it runs into, it'll be, I don't think, I think you said it at 10 and have them wait 15 minutes.
I know, that's right.
All right.
9:45?
Yes. You wanna make a motion, Rick?
I'll make a motion, we set the hearing for 9:45 for District 33.
Accept the Commissioner's report and set the hearing for 9:15 on September 14th.
9:45.
9:45, I'm sorry, 9:45. Do we have a second?
I'll second. Yep.
Okay, we have a motion to accept the treasurer's report and set the hearing for September 14th at 9:45. Further discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried.
Excellent.
Good job.
Excellent.
Something happened on September.
Yes, yes, that's
That's
for
nice
sure.
to do it all before harvest and get everybody in here and...
You know, I was thinking,
Harvest to be there.
yeah, I was thinking over the weekend that on all those districts within like 11 that you authorized, we're gonna have to talk how you wanna handle that. Do you have 8 in a row every 15 minutes, or do you, that seems like maybe a bit much, but you wanna be efficient with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk some more about that, so,
Okay, before you go, how are we coming in with the Gilmore City project then, as far as commissioners?
I don't have that map yet. I got the one of the sanitary, and I'm hoping we can catch the guy today, and I can take it and bring it back. It didn't work last time, but hopefully
That's what
today.
Brent and those guys, and Pat, they wanted to see that, right?
Yeah, the as-built for the storm sewer. That's the missing piece yet.
Okay.
I think that's all we need now, to get together and sit down with it, so. Rick, you mentioned the issue with the repair. I recently faxed some additional information to Brent Steggy with Denver. I'm hoping to get that resolved this week. We have something next week, don't we? I was thinking I was gonna be down here anyway. Maybe not. No, we don't, I'm sorry. Okay, well, I'll get Trish, yes, I'll let Trish know what their formal response is. Yeah, I went in the office last night to clean up some things, and I faxed him.
We need to clean that one up.
Yeah, and I basically...
It's just a matter of paperwork.
Yeah, I gave Trish a copy of what I faxed. And how'd I say it at the end? The county is expecting you to pay for this or something? Yeah.
It's obvious what the county would like to see. Thank you for your consideration.
Yeah, that's it. So I had a conversation with Doug Marshall on the repair, so I sent Steggy a copy of that.
And Doug detailed it, I'm sure.
Oh, he did,
He's got
he did.
pictures that says
Yep,
pictures.
and I got my conversation with Brent Steggy last fall when I talked to him about it then.
And here's the bill.
And Doug's bill, where he really spelled everything out.
Good.
So, I would think it's plenty of information for him, to make a decision and hopefully just pay it, so, let's see. I brought the wetland stuff for DD two. There's 1/100th of an acre difference in Bob Lynch's from the report to what was filed for wetlands.
How much difference?
I think it's 1/100th of an acre.
Yeah.
So we gotta get that resolved. I mean, we'll get that figured out hopefully yet today. Just so you know, DD7 Branch 1, I think it is called, Rick Peterson cleaned that out on an hourly basis recently. Last I checked with him, he hadn't leveled. Well, I haven't talked to him for over a week. So, okay. I have the CRP reseeding plan ready to put in John Colmorgan's hand. It's in the file. I've got it with me today. I just noticed I have to make a copy for us to keep. And also ditch 18, Rick Peterson's also doing some clean out on the upper parts of ditch 18 up in the northeast part of the county. That reseeding plan is ready to put in John's hand too. So, and John's comments last time were he'd like to get the information early so he can get in there basically right after they're done and not fight the weeds. That's why I've got them ready for him. I just put them in his hands, so. I'm gonna check on DD6. You got a young contractor out there working on that spot clean out. I'll go out there and see if he's got any questions. Our man was out there when he started. He went back, handled some other projects, came back, and the guy digging said he was happy because he figured out how to feel the bottom, where the bottom was. And then I got a message again from our guy in the field after he went back and checked with him again, and how'd he put it? He says, he's got it. So, that's a good thing. I'll check on Denver on 125. I talked to Doug Adams. They are close to finalizing the redesign of the structure for the pond. You know, we moved it, Mark Dickey took out trees. he just asked me to get him, this morning he asked me if I'd get him the flow we're expecting, so I'll get him that today. He's not working on it, someone else is, but I warned him or reminded him that, Denver wants to build that in August. So, they're hoping to do that in dry time. And they are trying to incorporate a silt pond yet in the design.
That'd be great.
I think it'd be a wonderful thing.
Big deal.
Yes, so, and I guess, you gave them copies of the Doug letter?
Yeah.
And I hadn't seen that yet, but,
These are their return questions back to us.
okay.
And Doug's gonna keep working on this for us, so that's perfect. If you just... I guess we just let them keep handling it for right now. That's what most people do.
I expected it to be longer.
Mort, these are for you to sign.
Oh, okay, okay, thank you. You passed the motion to pay Davis, didn't you? Right? Okay,
He's been paid.
okay, 'cause it said, the summary they had, it didn't say, but that was more recent, so,
Right.
okay. Okay, okay. Okay.
Anything else, ready this morning?
I don't think I have anything, unless there's questions or something.
Okay, questions?
I got one.
Sure.
On Humboldt Pursuit, section 4 with Coosta, did you ever get ahold of Tony Grimm and talk to him on that? Did ya?
Yeah,
What'd you have to say?
he doesn't know what's wrong, but I'm having Marshall look at it.
Okay, super.
There's a work order there for it.
Okay.
That's part of the file there.
Good. 'Cause he had water coming out of his intake,
Oh, okay,
but that was when we were getting all that water too, and I think he was having a problem in Cassuth County. I think the tile was probably collapsed someplace and...
okay, okay.
Cassuth was already reviewing that
Is that joint?
They are reviewing that?
on their part, yeah.
Yeah, I know Don Buster, I had a meeting that day in
Oh.
Buster City, I went with him, he was going over to look at it that day.
Doug gets to the bottom of things, you guys know that.
Yeah.
He's, yeah.
Doug's over, by Hardy, you know, and he's on that is he done with the final?
It's done,
Woo-hoo.
the,
FEMA? I knew he was over there on that other end.
I just have to provide
Perfect.
email with some additional information on that, on why and what and which one,
Which that is, Doug can have that pretty well
yeah.
itemized
So,
for you. Good deal.
last.
Okay,
So he's probably gonna be wanting to start that bulkhead sometime maybe, huh? That's what he said.
oh, out there on 3?
Quits raining. Okay, I'll talk to him about that. That's great, get that FEMA done, though.
And he's gonna pump it from the road, I hear.
Everything's, they're planning on coming in from the road, even with materials.
Oh.
Is everything buried or
No.
level?
That pile's still there, yeah, it is.
Okay.
Hopefully this
Okay.
fall, when we get corn out.
Oh, absolutely.
Then he can come in.
Yemlin's
around.
promised to take care of that.
Oh, they were gonna do that one. Young was
Yeah.
gonna get rid of the
Didn't
pile.
they say he'd take care of the pile once he could get in there? I thought sure that's what he said, so.
I'm not totally sure if it was him or not.
No, Doug, don't mind doing
I think Doug said
Yeah.
he'd do it if they didn't.
Yes, that's why I remember it
it.
too.
The tile on the south does it, right?
Yep, the leveling's done. The leveling is done.
Good.
We're saying that we needed to get that done.
That's fine.
Yes,
So it looked real good.
good. Very
He does
good.
work out there on the Hardy project. I mean, it's amazing how deep that ditch was, how much work they had to do down there. So it's probably run a little more than what even thought for FEMA, because that was a deep ditch.
That is a deep ditch.
And that one on Mark Olson's, it was, you know, a surface drain. It was so collapsed, it just sucked the dirt right in. I mean, yet, a lot of that concrete was just crumbled and fell apart, so. I mean, it was gonna have to be done sometime, but it was fortunate we could get some FEMA dollars. to help.
Absolutely, get the help with it. You
Yeah.
know? Very good, thank you.
Go out of drainage.
We have a motion to go out of drainage. Have a second. Those in favor of going out of drainage, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. We're back in general session. Perfect. Thank you, Rick. You bet, thanks. Any horses here?
Yeah, they're in,
Oh,
handed
I
to
did.
somewhere.
Thank you.
I don't think it's just a sheet of newspaper.
I think she's from, is she from Humboldt radio station?
Oh, that's on the radio station. She's a new one?
I wonder.
We should have, I guess we should
Give
have.
her to introduce
Yeah.
herself next time.
She smiles, I just figured she's from radio.
You know, raining out there?
What?
Maybe not.
It looks dark enough,
Just
it's good,
dark.
rain.
Yeah, it looks dark enough, but I don't think it is. It isn't shiny on the road anyway.
We got about 3 tenths here in town tonight.
Yeah, that's all I had.
I had 7, 8 tenths on the farm.
Oh, you did?
Enough to go to
Some people
grass.
got,
Good.
some people got good rain.
Yeah, it's nice.
Do you want to take a brief break here?
Yeah.
Do that, or we can do.
We're a little ahead of schedule, so we can do some of this bottom
I'm
stuff.
sure copies of stuff
Okay.
for you, so I didn't...
Let's just take a recess, we can.
Okay.
Sure, we'll do
Got a
that.
minute or
We'll
two.
wait a while for,
That's fine.
I thought drainage was going longer than it did.
very good.
Well,
I'll just keep things moving right along.
Yeah, he does. All right.
What we got left, resolutions and reports.
Mhm.
Shall we go ahead and...
All right.
Make a motion, we go back in session.
I'll second.
Go back to general session. See, motion by Rick.
Second.
All in favor, go back to general session, say aye.
Aye.
Vote nay. We are now ready for business in general session. We have before us two resolutions considered today. Peggy, I'll let you tell us about these.
Okay. I received those late Friday afternoon from Dorsey and Whitney. I did have a call from Mr. Donaldson also, or not Donaldson, Mr. Maloney.
Mike?
Yep. And he explained also that these were the necessary documents. I'm not sure if he talked to you, Rick, or not.
There was an email, but I haven't talked to him personally, no.
Okay. It would appear, and like I said, they came in late Thursday night, so I have not read these over thoroughly. But from the way they're worded, if you look at the very last letter in each resolution, the last thing in there is a letter from Dorsey and Whitney saying what these are doing. We've prepared the tax proceedings to be used to adopt a resolution approving the loan agreement and issuing the general obligation emergency communication equipment note that I have to fill in for as far as minutes and that. So the first one is for the not to exceed $680,000 pursuant to the provisions of federal code sections for the equipment.
So that's resolution 18, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then,
The second one would be,
the second one
Smaller
is
amount.
19, yes, the smaller amount. From the way that, and I don't have my notes first, let me get those first from Malloy, because they, why we have to read those.
Well, I think one for $360 will be paid off by the revolving fund. Revolving loan fund
You know what, that'd
from
be
Corn
separate
Belt,
resolution
and that's
for that.
at 0%
That's a
interest.
separate resolution, and that's
But we
why.
won't get that money for a year.
Okay,
That's why that's separate.
that makes sense.
And then this other one will be for the balance that will carry at Bank Iowa.
That makes sense.
And it's at 2%, I think, which is extremely low.
Yeah, it was 195 and two.
Where did I see that?
Copy of that.
For you? Oh, sorry, I thought I didn't have a copy. Yep, they're there. That's okay.
Rick says that 360,000 is separated.
There should have been a second one with it.
2.48.
Yeah.
He said the second one's because of that revolving fund money.
The $360,000
That'd be
is
The
separate.
emergency communications equipment cost is $499,133.10, and up to $360 is intended to be financed long-term through revolving loans from Corn Belt Power.
Yeah.
That's why.
This long-term financing would be provided in the 15-16 fiscal year, but potentially as late as May and June 16. An interim loan can be issued for a term less than 1 year with the intent to be paid off, with the proceeds from the revolving loan once received. Therefore, the Series 2015C, they call them, is $360 due July 1st, 2016. Bank Iowa has provided a rate of 2%.
Oh, that's where your 2%.
Yeah, that one.
I got you. That's where the 2%,
Yeah.
if you need a short-term.
Financed by the general obligation
All
loan,
right.
2015B, with a par amount of $165,000. This will be the 10-year term, and carries 2.48 interest. And I think you guys copy of that too. Mr. Maloney spelled it out just a little clearer. That is why you need two of them.
Yeah.
We have resolution 2015-18, loan agreement.
I'll make the motion to authorize the signing of resolution 2015-18 for $155,000 for equipment note.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second it if Mark's okay with it. You okay with that? Okay.
We have a motion second to approve resolution 2015-18, for loan and equipment, for about $155,000 obligation bond. Other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Now we got 2015-19.
This is just a one-year note, I understand, until we receive our revolving loan funds from Humboldt. I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2015-19 for, equipment loan for 1 year,
Not to exceed $360,000.
not to exceed $360,000.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor of resolution 2015-19 as stated, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Thank you, Peggy. Lead us through this.
Thank you, Rick, for being on top of it.
Rick did a good job out there.
You sure have.
I noticed this morning they were really going at it down there.
Packing sand, are they?
It's like a bunch of beavers
We're
down
about
there.
half of it.
They got a guy there from the CTS, he stands there and watches them the whole time.
Whole time.
Froze it. Of course, she's costing us $60-some an hour, but at least you know it's done.
But you have a good footing.
Wearing a helmet and green shirt, you stand there.
Yeah.
Okay, we have, committee reports.
Sounds good. Hey, I had one major report last week, and that would have been County Social Services. I ended up going to Clarion instead of West Union. That would be July 22nd at 10 o'clock in Clarion, I met. I went there because I needed to do some stuff in the afternoon, and I didn't really, West Union was quite a drive, so. We didn't have too tough of an agenda. We went through a lot of points and approvals. Oh, a couple of highlight. You know, we talked about equalization again. We talked about the state payment that the state provided for legal settlement. Well, the way the budget process worked this spring, summer, I guess, they've dropped, I'm sorry, they're gonna drop the almost $2 million that was allocated for the, legal, for the legal settlement, and they're also dropping $560,000 for equalization of property credit taxes. So, that in a sense, with the 3718 drop from the 45, assessed valuation we were using, we're gonna have about a $5,000 decrease in our budget for next year. And, which, you know, we're gonna have to figure out in the next couple of years how that's gonna all play out, because we're gonna go to about a $17 million budget to 22, but we do have about 13 to 14 million in reserves. We kinda held on to our reserves knowing this could happen, and it has happened, so I would say in the next few years, that 13 to 14 million with some changes in programs is gonna go away, so we're not gonna have a large carryover anyway. So the tighter budget, and an interesting stat that they're using the cloud, which I still don't understand how that all works, but they're using the program, and they've got our use, because of the Accountable Care Act, our usage is going, I wish I could've got a copy of this, but it's, I didn't write all this down, but I think we were averaging like, 600 and some, 40 cases a month, let's say. Because of the Affordable Care Act, we're down to 200 and some cases, almost half. But then the cost of the ones that we are dealing with are going up. So instead of being about $400 and some per case, it's about $650. So numbers are coming down on usage because people are getting on health insurance, but the severity of the cases that are left are going up as more people are relying on this if they can't get on a healthcare program. So, that's why our budget's gonna still, you know, it's gonna be stressed. And they started the Iowa START program, which it's a subacute crisis center. Chelsea Carroll is gonna run this, and it's kinda gonna have to address behavioral needs to meet the change of the system in place now. So there's gonna be region-wide coverage, and we're working with the hospitals and the mental health issues, and it's to get all this information out so we have a better sharing of information, so we have quicker response time to get people help. And CFR is working on the drug, the alcohol-ish side of it, the subacute need on the alcohol side of it. So they're gonna be a big player in this, I think, going forward, because they're gonna be relied on for more, this region's gonna draw more people into this Fort Dodge area just because of that, so. Be interested to see if they can expand or develop a new building and get some of their programs, upgraded, so. It's just never changing. One note, Don Besh from Cassuth County got kind of get frustrated with the program because they were assessing above the $37 range for Algona, so he just put it across his board that he didn't need to do that. So he stepped down, and they appointed, what was his name? Hold on here a second. Tarts, is that how you pronounce his name? Roger? TJARKS, so he took over for Don last month, so he'll get the education on how all this works, too. It's pretty interesting.
The base was pretty highly involved with burial for a while, too.
Yeah, that's part of this program, too, I think burial's part of this being involved. It's just, it's ever changing, it's ever developing. I just see us, the CSS, doing more matching dollars with different agencies to help them get a program started. The funding's just tight, so then everybody's coming up a little short, and they come to us and ask for help. Clear Lake is interesting, you guys are all familiar with Upton Village, and I talked to the sister of one of the patients there, and I think they're down to there's only about 30-some clients that aren't into individualized homes or group homes of 4 or less, where they have living homes of 4 people or less. So they're really getting them out in the community. That was the goal of this. They're supposed to close down the large facility, where they have stayed before, so they're gonna get their job done. But boy, it's costly to do that. They have to have a lot of participation from the community. They have to have grant fund. It takes a long time to get these people into these homes.
Yeah,
They're not cheap.
and what a traumatic change
Transition.
for these people.
So I asked her
They've been in that
how,
home
and I asked her how about
20 years.
He said, well, the new people he's with now, he's never been closely associated with before, but he's getting along with them. But he said, he's kind of quiet and doesn't give his opinion anyway, so it makes it a little difficult to judge how he's doing. But she thought he seemed happy and was, didn't have any addiction stress problems. So it's just the way it's gonna be. They're gonna break down these larger homes into smaller units, so. Yeah, and I guess next, we did our, HIPAA requirements, kind of reviewed that, got through that, and next month, Director Palmer's gonna be at our meeting, so we're supposed to know about these MCOs by then, we got contracts, so I think next month's meeting is gonna be a really interesting one, so we'll see what Mr. Palmer has to say. It'll be interesting to have his take on it. So that's all.
Okay, let's see. Well, last Monday, stopped down to LEC and put an air conditioner in the dispatch. Dean had purchased it, and he needed some help with that, so I put that in, because it's terribly hot in there, and the next day I got all kinds of comments how comfortable it was, so.
It's good.
Yeah, because they had all that equipment running in a little room, and it was just hot. It was like,
Heats it up.
it was terrible in there. So they're comfortable, the equipment's comfortable, which is important, because it shortens the life of the equipment when it runs hot. And then Tuesday night, I was down for a landfill meeting, I think it was 5 o'clock. First landfill meeting for me, taking over Harlan's spot there, I guess, and, I got to meet all the people down there. I didn't realize it covered such a large area. They're talking about this household waste recycling building they're gonna be putting up. Showed some prints on that. I think that's gonna go out for bids late September, I believe. They made some changes in safety down there. They got a security system put in. That's filming everything coming into place. I'm thinking there was 5 or 6 different areas that they were putting cameras up so they could monitor things from the office. They've had a little problems with theft down there with equipment. So hopefully that'll help also. And then there's another program going on where the DNR is comparing their recycling rates from 1988 till now, what percent is getting recycled. Unfortunately, back in 1988, they didn't keep very good records of what was recycled, so Cindy is going down back through the records and trying to put together something for the DNR so they can get a percentage of increase. And also, we had a closed session for pending litigation. I didn't realize they had those issues down there too, so. That was about it down there for that. And then Wednesday morning, we had a construction meeting at City Hall with the Woodruff and everybody involved there. What did we have on the agenda there? We had a few topics, a couple of change orders that we went through. They were all gone through and accepted. I don't happen to have them right there in front of me, over here somewhere. And then we got an update on the asbestos. They were hoping to be done first part of this week. Actually, I was surprised they weren't done, but I see they're not done yet. But hopefully as soon as they get out of there, they'll get in and start setting up the walls inside and putting in some new electrical services and data terminals, and that was part of one of the change orders. They're adding more electrical service and data ports, and also they're gonna right now the current drains that are in the old building go down 5 feet and then come out real deep. They're gonna raise them up and come out shallower and tie them into the new system that's in the new building. There's just, I think, only 2 floor drains that they had some concerns about.
So that'll be fairly new.
So it'll be new then, rather than tying into this old plumbing that's buried 5 foot deep, and then
Yeah, probably.
15 years from now we have a problem, and they have to tear it all up, so they're gonna get that corrected now.
Rick, I think you said also they were gonna put in some kind of a rail for the electric wiring up above, so it's a little more cleaner.
Yes, that's not with Woodruff, that's with,
Oh, I'm sorry, that's with electronic stuff.
the electronics issue. They're gonna put in hang some, they call them trays, and rather than having all this wire just lay on the suspended ceilings up there, it'll be up wrapped in nice bundles laying in trays. Keeps it nice and neat.
Separates kind of from the rest of the electrical.
It does, it separates, keeps it,
I thought that was a good idea.
and if they ever need to add anything, it's easy to add.
It's all right there.
It's there, and it's, I've been on the school project down here, that's what they've done down there, and it is so nice. It just keeps things nice and neat and organized, and it's not a terrible big expense. And actually speeds up the process, because then you're not trying to tie wires everywhere. So it's going well down there. And as soon as they get the sand packed back in, and plumbing in the floor, they'll get their concrete floor poured, and then we'll have some walls going up.
Yeah, they're close to this project, but Lake County Press watching the contractor, they seem like they're really going after it.
They are. Well, we got a tight schedule, and I was just kinda looking at the schedule, and they're pretty close to being on schedule. This asbestos abatement's slowing them up a little bit. But we're within, I think by, let's see, they wanna have, the slab done somewhere in the area of August 3rd to August 10th, so we'll see if they get that done here by then.
Four slab inside the building.
Yeah, 4. And, so, on the schedule, they got backfilling between, like, the 21st through the 27th. And that's what they're doing right now, so
That's November 1.
Something's above.
October 15th.
October 15th.
So, pretty much on schedule for right now. So that's good. That's it for me.
No committee meeting.